Вы сказали.
Не говорил.
Я знаю.
The casting for the 1972 movie Deliverance was a careful process. Director Jon Voight wanted actors who could bring authenticity to the challenging roles. Jon Voight was chosen for his ability to portray the thoughtful and moral Ed, while Burt Reynolds' physical presence and charisma made him perfect for the adventurous Louis. Ned Beatty and Ronny Cox, both new to film, were cast for their natural acting style and chemistry with the others. Auditions and screen tests focused on ensuring the actors could handle the physical demands and complex relationships in the story. The key moment came when the four leads met and displayed a convincing bond that Boorman was looking for, sealing their roles in this gripping adventure. In the 1972 film Deliverance, director Jon Voight's vision was to create a tense and realistic survival story. He was influenced by the natural beauty and danger of the Georgia wilderness. His style was to use the environment as a character itself, shaping the film's mood and the actors' performances. Boorman worked closely with the cast and crew to develop a sense of camaraderie and authenticity. He encouraged the actors to perform their own stunts and immerse themselves in their roles, leading to genuine reactions and interactions on screen. The collaboration resulted in a gripping film that feels true to the challenges and fears faced by the characters.
All right.
Ладно.
Okay.
Вставай и покатай меня. Хорошо.
Deliverance, a film from 1972, takes us on a thrilling journey with four friends who decide to canoe down a river in the American South. They expect a fun adventure, but they face unexpected dangers and must fight for survival. This movie has stayed popular over the years because it shows real friendship and bravery in tough situations. It also has beautiful scenes of nature which contrast with the scary parts of the story. I remember watching Deliverance for the first time years ago, and it was a powerful experience. The movie's ability to keep you on the edge of your seat and the strong acting make it a classic. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What's your most memorable moment related to Deliverance? Did you watch it with friends, or did it remind you of your own adventures? Share your stories in the comments. We're excited to read them.
Молись как следует.
The 1972 movie Deliverance was filmed in the remote wilderness of Georgia's Chattahoochee River. The natural setting was both a key visual element and a challenge. The river's unpredictable waters demanded real rafting skills from the actors and crew, leading to a sense of authenticity in the performances. The crew built temporary platforms over the water for equipment and cameras. They also used lightweight cameras that could be easily transported through the difficult terrain. This allowed for dynamic shooting angles and close-up action shots, especially during the intense rafting scenes. The film's director, Jon Voight, chose to forego traditional music scores, instead using natural sounds and dueling banjos, which became a defining feature of the film. Deliverance's production is noted for its use of the environment to create tension and realism, setting a standard for future outdoor thrillers. The 1972 movie Deliverance is known for its powerful story and the way it showed the struggle for survival in the wilderness. It made people think about nature, human behavior, and the challenges one might face away from civilization. The film is still talked about today because it has strong characters and a story that feels real and possible. It also started conversations about the environment and how humans interact with it. The movie's music, especially the banjo tune called Dueling Banjos, became very famous and is still recognized by many people. Deliverance is remembered for its influence on movies and culture, showing how a trip meant for fun can turn into a fight for life. It remains relevant as it continues to be a reference point for stories of adventure and survival. The film Deliverance is known for its powerful music that closely follows the story and feelings of the characters. The most famous piece from the movie is Dueling Banjos, which starts off friendly and light but becomes fast and intense, reflecting the movie's shift from a peaceful trip to a fight for survival. This song was created by Eric Weisberg and Steve Mandel, and it sets the tone for the film. The rest of the soundtrack, composed by Jon Voight, uses banjo and guitar to support the mood of each scene, whether calm or full of tension. The music plays a key role in making the audience feel the same emotions as the characters without needing words.
Он его не надевал.
In a twist of fate, the success of a famous musical piece from a well-known film led to an unexpected event. The gold record awarded for dueling banjos was taken from the director's home by a notorious thief. This incident later inspired a portrayal in a 1998 movie about the criminal's life. In creating the film's memorable scenes, filmmakers employed a technique known as day for night, which involves shooting in daylight and applying a blue filter to simulate nighttime, a method necessitated by the limitations of camera technology at the time. Budget constraints imposed by the studio led to an innovative approach to the film's music. Instead of a costly traditional score, the director recorded the main musical theme with just a banjo player and a guitarist completing the entire soundtrack in a mere 2 hours. This economical solution not only saved on expenses, but also gave the film its distinctive musical identity. The 1972 movie Deliverance, directed by Jon Voight, is known for its powerful scenes that explore survival and human nature. One of the most striking scenes is the dueling banjo sequence, where city men bond with local mountain people through music, setting the stage for the clash of cultures that follows. The river journey is another key scene, showcasing natural beauty and the skill of the actors and director in creating tension. The performances, especially by Jon Voight and Burt Reynolds, are strong and believable. The cinematography captures the wilderness with a raw edge, making the audience feel the danger the characters face. The filmmakers and actors have shared that they aimed to create a film that was true to the book it was based on, focusing on the story's dark themes and the challenges of shooting in a demanding location. The result is a film that stays with viewers, making them think about the thin line between civilization and savagery.
Посмотри. И все это должно исчезнуть.
At a challenging time in his career, Jon Voight found a lifeline in a role that would demand as much from him physically as it would emotionally. The film's intense action sequences were not just a test of his acting skills, but also his endurance, especially during the filming of the perilous water scenes at Towler Falls. These scenes showcased the treacherous 1,000-foot gorge, adding a layer of authenticity to the film's already gripping narrative. Despite the film's setting in the American South, it was an English director, Sir Jon Voight, who brought this dark adventure to life, guiding it with a steady hand and a clear vision.
Ты это сделал! Ты убил его!
The 1972 movie Deliverance had a strong effect on both culture and society. It showed the struggle between city dwellers and rural locals, highlighting the clash of different ways of life. The film's intense scenes and story made people talk about survival, nature, and the risks of the unknown. It also brought attention to the beauty and dangers of the American South's wilderness. The movie's famous banjo scene became a symbol of rural American music. It made people more aware of environmental issues and the impact of modern life on traditional cultures. Deliverance challenged viewers to think about their own values and the meaning of civilization.
Ned Beatty, Ronny Cox, Билл McKinney и другие. Оператор Вилмош Зиб.
In the making of the film, director Jon Voight was firm on not using stunt doubles for the actors, believing that if a scene was too dangerous, it should not be attempted at all. However, there was one occasion where actor Jon Voight was replaced by a double, despite Burt Reynolds performing his own risky scenes. During a particularly challenging whitewater canoeing sequence, actor Ned Beatty found himself in danger when he was thrown from the boat and trapped underwater by a whirlpool. It took a brave production assistance rescue effort and a tense 30 seconds before Beatty resurfaced. When asked about his thoughts during the ordeal, Beatty humorously expressed concern for the film's completion without him. Adding to the film's authentic feel, a memorable dance by a gas station attendant during the iconic dueling banjo scene happened without planning, capturing a genuine moment of joy on film. The 1972 movie Deliverance received positive reviews for its direction, acting, and screenplay. Critics praised the film for its thrilling plot and the way it portrayed the survival instincts of its characters. It was a success with audiences who found it both exciting and thought-provoking. Deliverance was nominated for 3 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director for Jon Voight, and Best Film Editing. It did not win any Oscars, but the nominations alone were a significant recognition for the film and those who made it. The nominations highlighted the skill and effort that went into making the movie and helped to secure its place as a notable film in the history of cinema.
Я помню, что я сказал.
Да, но черт побери, это ложь.
In the film's visual style, the colors of nature are toned down and darkened, setting a mood of unease. Director Jon Voight speaks highly of James Dickey, the original author, praising his poetic talent and acknowledging his strong presence. Jon Voight, one of the film's main actors, has a notable history with the Oscars. By 2015, he had roles in 3 films nominated for Best Picture, including one that won the award. His performances contribute to the lasting recognition these films receive. During the filming of Deliverance, the actors faced real danger. Burt Reynolds broke his tailbone while going down the rapids when his canoe capsized. Instead of using a dummy, he insisted on using himself for the scene, wanting it to look real. Jon Voight actually climbed the cliff without a stunt double. He performed the scene with a harness attached to him, which was out of the camera's view. The cast did most of their own stunts, which added to the film's authentic feel. The director, Jon Voight, chose to film in sequence, which was unusual for movies. This meant that the actors went through the journey in the same order as their characters, helping them to give more natural performances. The film's famous banjo scene was played by a local boy who was not a professional actor. His natural talent added a sense of reality to the film. These experiences brought the cast and crew close together, creating a bond that lasted long after the movie was finished. In a surprising turn of events during the making of a well-known adventure film, Burt Reynolds believed his appearance in a magazine without clothes might have cost the film an Oscar win. In casting choices, Henry Fonda was initially approached to play the adventurous Lewis, but declined the offer. James Stewart's name was also in the mix for this role. During a pivotal scene, Ned Beatty improvised a line that became the most quoted from the film, despite the irony that it was directed at his own character.
Just drop them.
Снимай штаны.
The 1972 movie Deliverance has had a significant effect on film history and future movies. It was one of the first films to explore the theme of city dwellers versus rural folk, which led to other movies exploring similar conflicts. Its use of natural settings showed filmmakers the power of environment and storytelling. The movie also introduced audiences to the risks and thrill of outdoor adventure, influencing other adventure films. Its story and characters have been referenced in various forms of media, showing its lasting presence in popular culture. Deliverance is remembered for its gripping plot, musical score, and the performances of its lead actors.
Все чисто. Салфетки. Горячая вода.
In the film, the character of Ed's wife is played by Belinda Beatty, who in real life was married to Ned Beatty, the actor behind Bobby. The memorable dueling banjo sequence was the first to be filmed, setting the tone for the rest of the production, which was shot largely in order. While the film itself leaves the significance of its title open to interpretation, the original novel clarifies that the group of friends sought escape from the pressures of city life, seeking what could be described as a form of deliverance in the wilderness.
Системы отказывают. И тогда...
In the making of this intense adventure, the author behind the story, James Dickey, immersed himself in the film process by interacting with the cast in a unique way. He addressed each actor using the name of the character they portrayed, creating a closer bond to the story they were bringing to life. One of the most gripping moments occurs when Ed, one of the main characters, clings to his bow despite the chaos of a canoe wreck and being stranded in the river. This decision, while puzzling at the time, turns out to be crucial for their survival. The film's authenticity is further enhanced by the use of dialogue that mirrors the original novel, bringing the written word directly to the screen with little alteration. This approach preserves the raw power and tension of the narrative, making the character's journey even more compelling.
Бобби, смотри, кто вышел из леса. Кого-нибудь подстрелил?
In the challenging rapids of the river, Reynolds and Beatty showed skill in canoeing, while Voight and Cox encountered more difficulties. A particularly harrowing moment occurred when Beatty was submerged and trapped underwater for a tense minute. When asked about his thoughts during the ordeal, Beatty expressed concern over whether Voight could carry on with the film in his absence. Meanwhile, a common misconception surrounds the scene where Ed is wounded. It is believed by some that the arrow he shoots is the same one that later pierces his side. Adding to the authenticity of the setting, Lewis's vehicle of choice was a rugged 1970 International Harvester Scout 800, fitting for the film's adventurous spirit.
Ты тоже.
In his lifetime, Burt Reynolds starred in many films, but only one was nominated for the Best Picture Oscar. The natural beauty of the river in this film was so striking that the filmmakers decided to tone down its color to fit the movie's mood. Despite initial reluctance from the record label, the film's music score was eventually released in certain areas. It quickly gained popularity, spreading nationwide and becoming a top-selling album.
Я верю Эду, а не мистер...
In a significant shift for his career, Burt Reynolds left behind television roles and lesser-known movies to shine as a leading man in this film, marking a turning point that established him as a major actor in cinema. Meanwhile, director Sam Peckinpah, who had shown interest in directing this film, turned his attention to creating Straw Dogs after John Boorman was chosen instead. Additionally, this film marked the first appearance of Macon McCalman, introducing him to the movie-going audience. The 1972 film Deliverance has been a topic of discussion for many years. If you have seen this movie, we would love to hear how it touched your life or changed the way you see movies. Your stories and memories are valuable, and sharing them can bring us all closer to the world of film. If you enjoy talking about movies and hearing from others, please like, share, and subscribe for more discussions. Your participation helps us create a space where all movie lovers can connect and share.